The 4 animals I'm taking to market today, I went ahead and got them penned up. And so y'all see these animals out here right now. And you know, here in about 3 weeks I'll be selling animals this size. Here in about 2 or 3 weeks I'll be selling animals about this size. This is Missy right here. I got her. I got that white one. I got this one right here, this black one, and then I got a red one over there. And so those 3 or 4 will be the next going to market. And so I figured I'm gonna take animals to market today, and I'm gonna go ahead and liquidate. And so I figured I would go over the business plan one more time. You know, what's the big idea? What am I looking to accomplish? Or what am I looking to do, right? What's the business plan? And so I figured as of right now, the big idea is that I'm going to stop taking leverage, right? I'm going to stop taking leverage. And the big idea is that when I go to the sale barn and I sell these animals, let's say I sell 7 animals, I have determined that my preconditioning pens can hold about 7 animals at a time. And so I'm taking a look at my overall situation and I'm saying, well, I want to precondition 7 animals at a time for about 1 month each. And so in terms of how everything's going to work out, I will be liquidating about 6 or 7 animals every month. And that's what I anticipate. Am I going to be going for 6 animals every month? No, I'm not going to be selling 6 animals every single month, but that's what I would reasonably anticipate. And as time continues, the number of animals that I liquidate will actually continue to go upwards. Right? I'm not going to liquidate 6 to 7 animals a month, forever. Right now, I would anticipate that I liquidate about 6 to 7 animals a month. Here in about 3 months, it'll probably be 7 or 8. In about 6 months, it'll be 8 or 9, etc., right? And how am I going to do that? Or, what's the big idea in terms of the finances? Because if I go to the sale barn and I sell 7 cattle, I have a body conditioning score of 6, and I sell them at 650 pounds. When I liquidate these animals, I will effectively have enough money to buy about 12 animals. All right, I'll make enough money to buy about 12 to 14 animals, but I'm only going to buy 7. And when I do that, what is going to happen? I'm going to come home with cash. Do I really want to sit on cash? No, I don't really want to sit on cash. It's not going to do anything. All right, do I really want to sit on cash? No, I don't. But as of right now, it's the beginning of the year, and I'm preparing myself to take leverage for a new piece of land, right? So that's the big idea. I'm going to grow a cash stockpile while I keep my business running, and I'm gonna stop utilizing leverage. That's the big idea, right? That's the whole thing, right? That is the whole plan, right? I'm gonna sell 6 or 7, and I'm only gonna buy 7 a month. If I buy 7 a month and I sell 6 or 7, I will come home with about another $7,000 cash, something like that, right? And so I'm gonna start stockpiling this cash. All right, and why am I doing that? I don't really want to sit on cash, right? I talk about this all the time. I don't want to sit on cash, but as of right now, I'm going to do it just so that I can effectively slap the banker in the face with money. I'm going to stop taking leverage. I'm going to completely stop taking leverage, and I'm going to bring home about 7 cattle a month. My preconditioning pens can hold about 7 animals a month. I'm going to increase the preconditioning time from 2 weeks to a month. And when I liquidate these animals, I'm effectively going to be liquidating them at about 650. Body conditioning score 6. When I liquidate 6 or 7 animals, I'm effectively going to make enough money to buy 12 or 14. I'm not going to buy 12 or 14, right? And if I was using leverage, I would not buy 12 or 14. How many would I buy? I would probably buy closer to 20. Every time I sold 7, I would actually buy 20. But as of right now, I'm not taking any more leverage. I'm only going to reinvest my earnings, and I'm only going to precondition 7 animals at a time a month. When I do that, if I liquidate 7 animals and I sell them at 650, body conditioning score 6, I will effectively make enough money to buy about 12 to 14 animals. But I'm not going to buy 12 to 14 animals. I'm only going to buy 7. And if I do that, I will bring home excess cash. Right, and the big idea is, like, when I take a look at my situation, how much cash do I think that I can accumulate over about the next 4 or 5 months? All right, maybe about $75,000 or $100,000. That's the big idea, right? I've been talking about my business plan a lot. The business plan has not changed one bit. Right, it's the exact same business plan that I've had for months. right? I'm looking to liquidate a set number of animals every single month. I'm looking to liquidate animals every single month from now until effectively infinity and beyond. All right, I would anticipate that right now I am liquidating about 6 to 7 animals a month. But in reality, the number of animals that I liquidate every single month is actually going to continue to trickle upwards. In about 3 months, I will probably be liquidating 7 to 8 animals every month. 3 months after that, I will probably be liquidating 8 or 9 animals every single month. That's the big idea, right? That's the whole shebang idea. All right, and so, I would anticipate that I end the month with about $3,000 cash. I go into the next month, if I have $3,000 cash and I need to buy whatever, I need to buy I need to buy 7 animals, and I liquidate 7. I already got my next 7 ready to go. I already got my next 4 ready to go, excuse me. I'm already taking a look at them, and I would say like this one right here, probably going to be $650 within like the next 3 or 4 months, whatever it may be. Or not 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, I would say that he's probably, at some point, soon he's going to be about $650. I got bigger animals. I would anticipate that I am liquidating about 6 to 7 animals every month. All right, and I'm gonna take that money, I'm gonna buy new animals, and I would say that I start stockpiling. I would say that, okay, when probably within about 4 months, within about 5 months, I will probably have about $75,000 to $100,000 cash. I probably will. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest about it. I mean, let's just talk about the numbers and just be honest about it. Me, I just talk about money. Why not? Right, they always say, be the change that you want to see in the world, and I don't understand why people don't talk about money. A lot of people don't want to talk about money because they have a lot of money problems. But I said, my whole situation, one of my biggest problems with money is that I make an excessive amount. I make a large amount of money. I don't even know how much money I make. I make a lot. All right, I'm 100, and I've always said that poor people love the word guarantee. I guarantee I'm in the net positive. Guarantee it. And when I take a look at my numbers, like even right now, I'm going to go and liquidate 4 more animals. I'm going to pay for my grain debt, etc., whatever. I'm going to buy more grain, pay for my grain debt, and I will still end the month with like $3,000 cash. I probably will. All right, and then I'm gonna enter the next month, and I'll be stockpiling cash. I'm not gonna use any leverage, right? And then I'm gonna have a balance sheet of cattle that is effectively all my cattle. And if I generate too much positive equity in my herd, I can liquidate some animals on top of that, and then just stockpile that cash as well. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, And that was the big idea, is that I really kind of want to think more about buying more animals than I liquidate. So if I liquidate 6, I want to buy 7. Right? If I liquidate 7, I want to buy 8. Just 1 more, because if I do that, it will slowly increase the net equity valuation of my herd. And if I do that, then granted that every once in a while I'll have an animal die, right? Every once in a while I will have an animal die, and that will account for that too, and etc., and then I can scrape the net positive equity off the herd, and then hold on to that cash as well. And I'm gonna do that effectively for probably about maybe 5-6 months, and within about 5 or 6 months, I'm gonna actually reinvest all of that money. Right, in all honesty, I don't even want to be holding on to the extra $7,000 a month, $6,000. I don't even want to be holding on to that money. I honestly don't. It's not going to do anything. I would rather purchase more cattle. But the big problem is that even if I don't use leverage, when I liquidate these animals, I will effectively have enough money to buy like 70 animals. Even if I don't use any leverage at all, I will still be able to buy like 70 animals. And I don't want to be sitting on a 10.5 acre field with 70 animals, and that would just be within the next 3 months. All right, legitimately within about 3 or 4 months, I would need to purchase like 65 animals, and I don't want to be on a 10.5 acre field with 65 animals. All right, and if I use leverage, I would need to purchase like 150. All right, I don't really want to be in that situation, right? I don't really want to be sitting on a 10.5 acre field with 150, 200 cattle. All right, but that's the big idea, right? That's the whole business plan. The business plan has not changed. I'm gonna effectively precondition 7 or 8 animals at a time. Somewhere between 7 and 8 animals at a time. I'm gonna be liquidating somewhere around 6 or 7 animals every single month. if I liquidate 6 or 7 animals every single month and I only buy 7 or 8, I'm going to have a net excess cash position, right? I will generate excess cash, and I will take that cash and I will hold on to that cash instead of buying more. Because here's the thing, I talk about this all the time. If I legitimately felt like I needed cash, I would not stop growing my business to have access to that cash. I would legitimately just go, like, I would sell my 6 animals, whatever, 7 animals, and then, I would buy my 14 animals, my 12, 14 animals, and then I would come home and it's like, oh, well, I need $1,500, I need $3,000, I need $5,000. I'll just liquidate 3 animals. I'm not going to stop growing my business to have access to cash, right? I'll just liquidate 3 animals from my stabilized herd, and I will take the money, and then, I will effectively whatever, right? And it won't matter to me. I'll just take 3 animals off of my stabilized herd, and then I will just get myself the cash. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop growing my business so that I have access to cash. I mean, and I talk about this all the time, how ridiculous, and maybe when I speak about it, it'll make more sense. The whole idea of just stockpiling cash. And maybe when and it's like I think a lot of people don't understand that this is legitimately what it sounds like, but it's ridiculous. I'm going to stockpile cash. Cash is money. Oh my God, if I don't have cash, then I don't have money. Maybe when I speak about it, you will understand how ridiculous that sounds. Cash is like the most ridiculous way to make money. There are many ways to have money. Many ways. All right, there are a lot of different ways that you can have money. Cash is the most ridiculous. In all honesty, like in my situation, maybe I produce whatever, right? I produce 15, 20,000, 25. Let's just say, I probably produce whatever, about $17,000 cash a month. I probably that's about how much cash I produce, about 17,000. Maybe, somewhere between 15 and 20,000. That's how much cash I produce a month. That is more than enough cash for me to do anything. I don't need to think about maximizing my cash position. Why am I going to, there was legitimately zero reason for me to make more than $15,000 to $20,000 cash a month. As of right now, there's no reason to do that. All right, that is legitimately, and I talk about this all the time, after about $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month, it doesn't matter. You can effectively buy anything on the entire planet. Effectively anything. It doesn't matter. I bring home about $15,000 to $20,000 a month. That's my take-home pay. All right, that's my take-home pay. I'm not going to bring home $15,000, $20,000 a month and then pay taxes. That's my take-home pay. That's how much money I bring home at the end of the month when it's all said and done. Somewhere between 15 and 20 grand. And that is enough money for me to do anything. All right, it is effectively enough money for me to do anything. I don't need $10 million. I don't need $1 million. I don't even need 100 grand. All right, 100 grand. Whatever, right? But the cash flow is enough money to effectively do anything already. I don't need $1 million. I don't need $10 million. I'm already in a situation where one of the biggest problems that I have in terms of money is that I make a drastic sum of money. That is legitimately one of my biggest problems with money, is that I make an excessive amount. All right, and I bring home about $15,000, $20,000 a month. My income is actually probably going to trickle upwards throughout the entire year, and when I go and buy myself a new field, my income will actually skyrocket. It'll probably be closer to $1 million than it will be to $250. It probably will. And I've already come to peace with the idea, right? I've already discussed this idea. For me to legitimately be able to pay for about $3 million worth of real estate, I would have to run about 150 cattle by myself. If I can do the work, then it doesn't matter. The land is free. All right, I talk about this. I've talked about this all the time, right? If when I go and I buy myself a new field, as long as and this is how I think about everything, right? Effectively everything. I don't care. The money is negligible already. With my income where it is, me running my cattle business, and with everything going on, my income is already more than enough to do anything on the entire planet. Effectively, I can effectively do anything. It doesn't matter. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to be selling, I would anticipate that I end up selling about 6 or 7 animals every single month. When I liquidate those 6 or 7, I will only buy 7 or 8. That means I'm going to come home with a net excess cash position. And, and all of those animals are going to be my money as well. If I legitimately felt like I needed more cash, I could just liquidate the animal. I'm not taking any more leverage. There is no reason for me to hold on to more cash. It's not going to do anything. All right, there's no reason for that. What am I going to do? Look at it. I would rather have the business. I would rather have my investments. All right, I'm going to come home with a net positive cash position. All right, and all of the animals that I buy are going to be my animals. I'm not taking any more leverage to buy the animals for at least 3 or 4 months. All right, and with but that, I talk about this all, the whole thing about buying land, and it's like, oh my God, $3 million, a $3 million loan is going to be whatever, $15,000 a month. The way that I look at it is that if I can run 150 cattle by myself, if I can do that, then the land is free. I don't, because the land will pay for itself, and it will produce me, an income so that I can actually live. Right, I can actually, buy food and have a house and et cetera, et cetera. That's how I think about it. I don't think about, oh my God, everything's impossible. Legitimately, if I can do the work, then the land is free. All right, the asset is going to pay for itself. All right, but I figured I would go over the business plan one more time because I'm gonna go liquidate animals. I'm gonna go liquidate animals this afternoon. But that's the business plan, right? I'm gonna liquidate about 6 or 7 animals every month from now until effectively infinity. If anything the number of animals that I liquidate is actually gonna go up every single month. I've taken a look at my preconditioning pens, and my preconditioning pens can hold about 7 to 8 animals at a time, and I am gonna lengthen the preconditioning period from 2 weeks to a month. And so in this situation, I will effectively be growing my herd slowly while also bringing home a net positive cash position. And ultimately, what's going to end up happening is that, I'll probably end up liquidating some extra animals whenever I need to scrape some of the positive equity off my herd. And I'm going to hold on to the cash. This is the one time you'll actually probably hear me say it. This is probably the one time you'll actually hear me say it. I'm actually gonna, hold on to cash. I'm actually gonna do it. All right, I'm not gonna be investing in all these various things, right? I'm not gonna be taking my money and investing it, in all sorts of things. I'm just gonna hold on to the cash. I'm legitimately just gonna do that. All right, this is gonna be the one time you actually hear me say it. I'm holding on to cash, and I'm gonna do that for about 3 or 4 months. And when I do that, after I do that, the big idea is that I'm going to go and get myself a big piece of land. And when I get my big piece of land, I will effectively invest the cash position, and I will leverage against it, and probably my entire herd as well. All of the animals will effectively belong to me within the next 4 months. I will have 0 debt on my cattle within 4 months. All of the animals are going to be mine. I will have a net excess cash position as well. All right, I'm going to have 0 leverage on my herd. I will leverage against the net appraisal value of my animals first, and then I will invest the cash. I will use the cash to float the debt service, and then I will effectively, move forward like that. And the big idea is that I need to effectively be running about 150 cattle at a time. If I run 150 cattle at a time, a $3 million piece of real estate is free. It's free. The land is going to pay for itself. All right, that's the big idea. That's the whole business plan. All right, that's what I'm doing. Right, that's the big idea. All right, liquidate a set number of animals every single month. I'm going to be liquidating the animals every single month. From now until infinity. And then, that's the big idea. All right, so I'm going to be going over to the sell barn, and y'all have a go on YouTube.